Screams of pain from a student at the Judge Rotenberg Center as he's tied down and shocked for hours. Good evening, I'm Mark Ackerman.
Hi everybody, I'm Maria Stefanos. Fox Undercover's camera, the only one in court today as a jury is given its first look at that disturbing video. And we want to warn you that the video is tough to watch. Mike Bodette reports.
This is the video that the Judge Rotenberg Center in Canton has fought long and hard to keep from the public eye. The center convinced a judge 8 years ago to seal it, and the battle continued right up until it was played in court, as lawyers for the center asked a judge to bar our camera from recording it. The judge said no, and now for the first time ever, the public can see for itself what these controversial electric shocks look like in use.
No, 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 help me, help, 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 help me, help.
Dramatic video of New York teenager Andre McCollins, restrained face down, a helmet on his head, screaming for help. The Judge Rotenberg Center calls it treatment.
Help, help, help.
That was shock number 16 or 17. 31 that day.
As McCollins' attorney just described, the teenager was shocked 31 times in all that day in 2002. McCollins is suing the Canton-based center, calling it torture. Lawyers for the center and its clinicians say McCollins needed aversive therapy because he was aggressive.
These are dramatic tapes. There's no question about that. But the treatment plan at the Rotenberg Center and the treatment plan that Andre had in place on October 25 was followed.
It was an emotional day for McCollins' mother, Cheryl, who was in court as video was played from the beginning of Andre's ordeal, when he was shocked and restrained after refusing to take off his coat.
I never signed up for him to be tortured, terrorized, and abused. I had no idea that they tortured the children in the school.
Cheryl testified what her son was like when she visited him 3 days later.
I couldn't turn Andre's head to the left, to the right. He was just staring straight. I took my hands and I went like this. He didn't blink.
Cheryl McCollins did get Andre to Children's Hospital that day, where he was diagnosed with acute stress response caused by the shocks. The jury also heard her testify about watching the video and hearing staff members laughing while their son was on the floor. We should see more video on Wednesday in court as Cheryl McCollins returns to the witness stand. I'm Mike Bodette for Fox Undercover.
That is what Autism Speaks supports. That is what we're fighting. The Judge Rotenberg Center, a school that tortures their children. I am horrified, but I had to see this. I had to see the truth. And if you watched that clip and you hadn't seen it before, you know in your heart that you need to know the truth too. My name is Rain. Welcome to this video where I will talk about autism silences, as I call it, and the horrific things they support. Quick warning, this video contains a lot of heavy topics. Autism Speaks have just 2 autistic people on their board out of 26 as far as I know. The majority of people on their board are so-called autism parents with no experience of autism, experts who only have an outside view of autism, or large corporations which represent 19 out of 26 people on the Autism Speaks board. They use language that the vast majority of autistic people don't like, such as person with autism instead of autistic person. No, that one post about Greta Thunberg where they said autistic person does not make up for it. They instantly jumped on the vaccines cause autism bandwagon and spent a lot of money researching it. The results came up negative, as we all knew they would, but that doesn't excuse what they've done. They also use legal action to try to silence advocates, but they should know that this will not work. Autism Speaks' logo is the puzzle piece, which has a very ableist history. The National Autistic Society's logo used to be this, a puzzle piece with a crying child on it. The puzzle piece implied that autistics had a puzzling, mysterious condition that brought sorrow to their families. Well, that wasn't and isn't true at all. The puzzle piece now represents Autism Speaks, of course, and it also represents all the atrocities in this video. Some autistic people like to reclaim the puzzle piece despite its ableist history, but most autistic people don't like it at all. Most of the money they receive is spent on advertising and travel, which I'll talk about more later. They spend 10 times more money on fundraising, 16%, than helping families, just 1.6%. They spend 32% of their budget on research to cure autism that we neither want nor need. We need acceptance and accommodations, not a cure, and their budget would be better served campaigning for changes for autistics rather than trying to change the autism. I've added AS's disgusting commercial, I Am Autism, to this video. Just watch it and see how badly it demonises autistics. Bear in mind, they never apologised for this video and never retracted it, just deleted it so they wouldn't look bad. Here we go!
I am autism. I'm visible in your children, but if I can help it, I am invisible to you until it's too late. I know where you live, and guess what? I live there too. I hover around all of you. I know no color barrier, no religion, no morality, no currency. I speak your language fluently, and with every voice I take away, I acquire yet another language. I work very quickly. I work faster than pediatric AIDS, cancer, and diabetes combined. And if you are happily married, I will make sure that your marriage fails. Your money will fall into my hands, and I will bankrupt you for my own self-gain. I don't sleep, so I make sure you don't either. I will make it virtually impossible for your family to easily attend a temple, a birthday party, a public park, without a struggle, without embarrassment, without pain. You have no cure for me. Your scientists don't have the resources, and I relish their desperation. Your neighbors are happier to pretend that I don't exist, of course, until it's their child. I am autism. I have no interest in right or wrong. I derive great pleasure out of your loneliness. I will fight to take away your hope. I will plot to rob you of your children and your dreams. I will make sure that every day you wake up, you will cry, wondering who will take care of my child after I die. And the truth is, I am still winning, and you are scared, and you should be. I am autism. You ignored me. That was a mistake.
And to autism I say,
I am a father,
a mother, a grandparent,
a brother,
a sister.
We will spend every waking hour trying to weaken you.
We don't need sleep because we will not rest until you do.
Family can be much stronger than autism ever anticipated, and we will not be intimidated by you, nor will the love and strength of my community.
I am a parent riding towards you, and you can push me off this horse time and time again, but I will get up, climb back on, and ride on with the message.
Autism, you forget who we are. You forget who you are dealing with. You forget the spirit of mothers and daughters and fathers and sons.
We are
the United
Kingdom. We are the United States.
We are Argentina.
We are Russia.
We are the European Union.
We are the United Nations.
We are coming together in all climates.
We call on all faiths. We search with technology
and voodoo,
prayer and
herbs, genetic studies,
and a growing awareness you never anticipated.
We have had challenges, but we are the best when overcoming them.
We speak the only language that matters, love for our children.
Our capacity to love is greater than your capacity to overwhelm.
Autism is naive.
You are alone. We are a community of warriors.
We have a voice.
You think because some of our children cannot speak, we cannot hear them? That is autism's weakness.
You think that because my child lives behind a wall, I am afraid to knock it down with my bare hands?
You have not properly been introduced to this community of parents and grandparents, of siblings and friends and school teachers, therapists, pediatricians and scientists.
Autism, if you are not scared, you should be.
When you came for my child, you forgot.
You came for me.
Autism, are you listening?
Okay, time to replay that and debunk it. Yeah, sure you do, you ableist bigots. And straight in with the overly dramatic music. Well done, AS.
I am autism. I'm visible in your children, but if I can help it, I am invisible to you until it's too late.
Too late? What do you mean too late? Too late for what?
I know where you live, and guess what? I live there too.
Yeah, of course autism lives where you live if you have an autistic person in your house. Why is that a bad thing?
I hover around all of you. I know no color barrier, no religion, no morality, no currency. I speak your language fluently.
So autism is in all countries. Stop making white people the face of autism, AS. Oh wait, you're Nazis, I forgot, sorry.
And with every voice I take away, I acquire yet another language.
What do you mean take away voices? Most of us can speak just fine, and just because some of us can't doesn't mean we have nothing to say.
I work very quickly. I work faster than pediatric AIDS, cancer, and diabetes combined.
Well, guess what? Those three things kill people, and autism doesn't. Also, autism is present from birth, AIDS and cancer are most likely not, and diabetes, well, again, that kills people, and autism doesn't kill people. Ableists and masking kill people. I'll talk about that more later.
And if you are happily married, I will make sure that your marriage fails.
If an autistic is happily married, then their autism has been accepted by their spouse. Autism doesn't just pop up and ruin everything when you get married. Jeez.
Your money will fall into my hands, and I will bankrupt you for my own self-gain.
Autism isn't a person trying to get money. It cannot bankrupt you for its own self-gain, because it's a neurological condition, not some greedy company like Autism Speaks is.
I don't sleep, so I make sure you don't either.
We all sleep, we maybe just sleep a bit less, and we're not burdens who wake everyone up all the time. In fact, I'm always dealing with stuff myself to avoid being a burden.
I will make it virtually impossible for your family to easily attend a temple, a birthday party, a public park, without a struggle, without embarrassment, without pain.
Maybe, when your kids go into a park or a church, etc., and they have a meltdown, don't take them to a park. Have a plan. Give them ear defenders and sunglasses. Maybe accommodate your child instead of moaning about them being a burden.
You have no cure for me. Your scientists don't have the resources, and I relish their desperation.
We don't want a cure, by the way.
Your neighbors are happier to pretend that I don't exist. Of course, until it's their child.
If neighbors don't accept autistics, they're just ableist. Ignore them.
I am autism. I have no interest in right or wrong. I derive great pleasure out of your loneliness. I will fight to take away your hope.
Autistic people don't derive pleasure from the pain of other people. Sure, we might not understand right and wrong sometimes. We're not being mean on purpose.
I will plot to rob you of your children and your dreams. I will make sure that every day you wake up, you will cry, wondering who will take care of my child after I die.
Hopefully someone better than you, since you seem to be such a bigot.
And the truth is, I am still winning, and you are scared.
What do you mean autism's winning? Winning what? This isn't a war on autism. I'm skipping the whole second part because it's just autism relatives talking about beating autism when it's something to be accepted, not beaten. Note that not a single actually autistic person speaks in this video, just relatives and some demonic voice pretending to be autism. Honestly, this sounds like it's trying to make me commit not alive. In the first part of the video, they're just kids and some adults playing and being normal. What's wrong with that anyway? In the second part, there are kids being hugged and kissed against their will, and they're pushing their parents away. Forcing your child into affection isn't love, it's disgusting and abusive.
Autism. Are you listening?
Yeah, sure I'm listening. It all sounds like BS to me anyway. AS's project MSSNG involves sequencing the genomes of around 10,000 autistics, making them available to anyone. This is a huge invasion of privacy. What they want is to find the autistic gene so they can cure us and abort possibly autistic fetuses in the womb. Many autistics have repeatedly said that they do want a cure, and those that do want a cure often want a cure because of bigotry they have faced or because they are misinformed. A lack of acceptance and inclusion here is the problem, not autism. They support eugenics, the social movement that argues it is possible to improve the human race by encouraging reproduction of those with desirable traits, aka no autism, and discouraging reproduction of those with undesirable traits, aka autistics. This is something that the Nazis did, which leads on to my next point. Autism Speaks have done a walk with the Soldiers of Odin, a group that is anti-immigrant, white supremacist, and widely considered to be neo-Nazi. They also have connections to the far-right neo-Nazi group Nordic Resistance Movement, and they had a criminal conviction for racially motivated assault long before Autism Speaks partnered with them. This is a heavy implication that Autism Speaks supports neo-Nazis, if not that they are neo-Nazis themselves, as they represent white people almost exclusively on their Instagram and other places. Just look it up yourself. ABA therapy is a compliance therapy which is widely considered to be torture in the autistic community. It treats autistic people like dogs to be trained, and often suppresses stimming, which is a way of expressing stress and strong emotions. The clip that I showed you at the beginning of the video is an example of a very extreme form of ABA, electrically shocking children when they don't comply. There are some good ABA therapies that genuinely try to help, but most therapies are very problematic, and the few good ones are few and far between. I spoke to an ex-ABA therapist who said that they stopped practicing ABA because it felt like dog training for autistic children. There is a large concern about ABA causing post-traumatic stress disorder. ABA often results in autistics masking, which is basically when autistics pretend to be neurotypical, and has been connected with autistics wanting to commit not alive. I'm going to show you a clip from Autism Every Day, another disgusting commercial you should watch, that features a mother talking about committing murder-suicide by driving herself and her autistic daughter off a bridge, while that child is in the room with her. Just watch, it's awful.
But I remember that was a very scary moment for me when I realized I had sat in the car for about 15 minutes and actually contemplated putting Jody in the car and driving off the George Washington Bridge, and that would be preferable to having to put her in one of these schools. And it's only because of Lauren, the fact that I have another child, that I probably didn't do it.
Need I say more? Finally, I have a message for you, Autism Speaks. I am Autism. I'm a son, a grandson, a brother, a nephew, a friend, a person. I don't need a cure because I'm amazing the way I am. I have my scars, we all do, and I'm wonderful not despite them, but with them. And we'll never stop fighting you, AS. We don't need your ableism and bigotry. We have other, better organisations to support. I need sleep, but I will spend every waking moment I can fighting you, even when it looks hopeless. Because every allistic person I convince not to support you, every autistic person I convince not to listen to you, is a victory in my soul. If you're watching this, I hope you're scared of us, because you should be. I'm Autism. You spoke over me. That was a mistake. It's time for you to let us speak now. Autism Speaks. Are you listening?